Welcome to the Blood Surge Emperor. Two major things have changed that make this build better than ever. Blood Surge is currently in the top 8 in the pit leaderboard, and I actually managed to be the 4th best Blood Surge Necro in the world. Now, what changed and why did it have such a huge impact? The first thing is a brand new item. It's called Shroud of False Death. On first sight, it's pretty plain. You go invisible after not dealing damage, 40% movement speed, some damage when coming out of stealth, max life, all stats, all good. The real cool thing is the +1 to all passives. And it's frankly spoken crazy on the Necro, because +1 to all passives means already another 5% more damage from imperfectly balanced. You do make more corpses with Hooed Flesh. If you use a corpse, more damage with Fueled by Death. More damage if you're fortified, and we're always fortified. You get more armor, you get more barrier, more damage against cursed, more damage against closed with more damage reduction. And most importantly, ranks and tides of blood, that's another 10% more damage, 6% more damage, and transfusion. Your blood skills have a 12% chance to create a blood orb at the target's location. This one is doubled versus bosses, so 24%, but usually it hovers at 9%. 9% is kind of sad on this one, but bringing that up to 12 is incredibly nice. And this, with a Shroud of the False Death, allows us to go for the next change, and that would be removing the embalmer's aspect. Embalmers used to consume corpses to make blood orbs. These blood orbs were used to fuel the Blood Begets Paragon node for another 50% damage multiplier. That's all good and dandy, but with corpse tendrils making blood orbs and the transfusion actually being buffed another time by the Shroud of the False Death, you are making enough blood orbs at any position in the game to always have at least one blood orb to keep your counter of the Blood Begets board rolling, even against bosses. And removing that one aspect allows us two things. Either you could start playing the Doombringer with an 85.8% bonus life. That's almost 100% life increase, and overpowered damage is life plus fortify, overpower multiplier, therefore pure damage increase. Or you could add another aspect for damage, like Great Feast or the sacrificial aspect, to boost your sacrifice bonuses even higher. Your minions deal 66% increased damage. If you have no minions, I do 66% increased damage instead of consume corpses to make blood orbs. Seems fantastic, doesn't it? Now that's already a tremendous increase to what the build did before. But wait, there's more, because the Paragon board went through some changes too, and I'll actually be having a 50, 100, 150, 200 Paragon board for you in the second part of the video. First, let me specifically point out how many skill points you should have in each passive. Considering that you have the Shroud of False Death, no worries, the planner below also has the version without Shroud. Put every point in Hooed Flesh and imperfectly balanced to get the most out of this. Then we can actually pull 1 point out of Necrotic Fortitude, because 3 out of 3 is enough. And if you do have enough armor, you don't have to put all 3 into Spiked. You could pull 1 out of here again. You want all points in Titan's Fall for the huge bonus against Fortified. And then you definitely want the 4 points into Grim Harvest, that we are getting 8 essence per consumed corpse, as we're continuously making corpses with a bigger chance than ever versus bosses as well. And the same goes for Fueled by Death for the most damage. Then maximum damage reduction and bonus damage versus close, with the curse doing the same. Lucky hit chance, you do also want up as much as possible, as that means we're just simply going to get more cooldown reduction. Then with the blood boards, we want the 4 point in Coil Assessed, we want the 4 points in Drain Vitality. That being said, there's another point you could weasel out here, as Drain Vitality on 30% is more than enough with the 7.5% of your max life. Honestly, 5% of your max life might as well be it. That's another 2 points you can keep saved there. You do want the Tides of Blood maximum out, no question, and the 3 points into Transfusion. That is super important, because the percentual chance just goes down, and since it gets doubled for the bosses, having 3% less is actually having 9% less. We're going for the Purge and Corpse Tendrils with the Blood Orb, and then 0 points in Necrotic Carapace. That one single point is more than enough from the Shroud of the False Death. Down here, you want all the points in Finality for that bonus damage when ultimate. And interestingly enough, the Memento Mori, the sacrifice bonuses, they get increased even more, which is crazy. Now we have 0 points into Inspiring Leader, because I am at 100% crit rate. But if your Masterworks went iffy, This is where I would actually put my last 2 points in to just really get to that 100% crit rate value, as there's also nowhere else where you could meaningful put that point in. Sure, maybe a bit more movement speed, but that's not going to help you with pit pushing. You could go for more essence, but again, that won't change anything in your damage department. Could potentially put one into Blood Mist, but going into Blood Mist and going out of Blood Mist, that takes the same time as just getting CC'd. Sounds stupid, but that's the thing with Necromancer. On the Book of the Dead, we're still sacrificing for crit. We're not taking care of resistance to all elements, as we're always fully barriered up. Yes, we're completely barriered. We don't actually need a single point of resistance. You'll see that in the Paragon board too. Then Skeletal Mages go out for the overpower, which gets boosted by the sacrificial even more, and the Golem gives us the bonus in critical strike damage. Now you might see me use Doombringer, but I have good news for you. I've tried it with a normal mace as well, and due to all our multipliers multiplying so hard, and the chance for Blood Surge to deal double damage on this one too, plus having the chance to play another aspect, the club deals equivalent damage to the Doombringer. Both are definitely an option. It's not even a poor man's choice. Right now, I'd say the club is slightly slower than the Doombringer, but it's not two values where you're like, oh my lord, how, like it's twice as fast. It's not. They're similar-ish. First important item, the amulet. Intelligence percentage, critical strike chance. That one could get removed for another skill ranks. Right now I have Tides of Blood, and if we had imperfectly balanced or Coalesces Blood as well, that would be banger. Ultimate cooldown reduction, Soul Rift duration. Tippity toppity, you want those. Then the second ring, greater affix on attack speed and greater affix max life is definitely what you would like to be looking at. Ultimate cooldown reduction and then blood attack speed plus Blood Surge Nova. The double Nova is mandatory. If you do a 10 billion Nova, you do another Nova with 10% less damage. It's essentially a 100% damage increase. The Ring of Stardust Skies with the greater affix in core skills would be preferred. That I have attack speed here is absolutely amazing regardless, because you want to also reach 100% attack speed, and it just allows you to spam away like crazy. Then on the offhand, you want the lucky hit chance to restore primary resource. You want this on your offhand and not on your main hand, as the main hand might be the Doombringer, so if you swap out your weapon, you don't want to be left without it, as this is actually your second source of easy essence restoration. Blood attack speed and then chance for Blood Surge to deal double damage with maximum life and intelligence. You do want to play Rathmas Chosen, as Rathmas Chosen is putting you into the almost 200% attack speed. Yes, Rathmas Chosen does not go into attack speed cap 1, it goes into attack speed cap 2. There's an article linked in the description below, 2 attack speed caps if you want a bit more information on that. With the blood attack speed, this is all I have on my stat sheet, plus blood attack speed and Rathmas Chosen into attack speed cap 2. Then Doombringer, if you have a roll on maximum life, and if you masterwork the maximum life. Otherwise, go for a maximum life greater affix club, and then chance for Blood Surge to deal double damage, plus the sacrifice bonuses on the weapon. Boots need to have armor. Max life, int. The int could be movement speed, but I actually moved that away for more int for more damage. Then movement speed, and I use Blood Surge Nova size here. That's technically not needed, and you could temper even more Soul Rift duration if you feel like, or a lucky hit chance to freeze even, to just freeze everyone over and just CC them even harder. Plus the Decrepify aura, and we're mostly using the Decrepify aura that we don't just have to curse the whole time. It gets tedious and annoying. Could technically replace this through Dazed. 20% more damage against dazed enemies, which will give you more damage, but then you have to handlessly curse everything. Pivoty Pants is the Blood Moon Breaches with 150% is needed. Greater life affix is great, and then you just want to masterwork the maximum life as much as you can. And for the Crew's Embrace, I found the quad greater affix one, and that's why we're actually playing this. Now we can discuss about what do you want to masterwork, because I got 6 ranks in Tides of Blood. Every rank in Tides of Blood is 10% more damage. That's 60% more damage. Now, the Blood Surge drain is only +6, which is okay. That means 7 drains against bosses, 35% bonus damage. Missing 15 potential bonus damage on the Surge. But with the other masterwork landing in Tides of Blood, that's kind of okay, as that balances each other out. Coming to the Shroud of False Death, greater affix max life, triple masterwork, maximum life. That's it. You want that. Now we also have cast a non-channeled core skill into the Barbarian Warcry. You need to cast it 24 times, Sounds like a lot, not with 200% attack speed. Lastly, the Air of Perdition. You do want that core skills, greater affix, because it's just +6 ranks. It could be even more. That's just pure damage, paired together with the bonus 60% it anyways has, and then cast the same non-channeled skill 3 times in a row, Blood Surge, gain 20% max life, more damage. For the mercs, we're playing Subo, as Subo gives us the 25% increased critical strike damage to enemies hit by cover fire for 4 seconds, and he does that every 20 seconds, so it's quite a lot. And then as our reinforcement, we're playing Variana on the Bloodthirst, since every 22 seconds, she gives us, for 7 seconds, 10% more attack speed. That's quite good. Keep in mind, this goes into attack speed cap 1. So if you're already at 100% attack speed cap there, don't use it. If you're at 90% attack speed, do use it. Now to the Paragon board, we have the 102 version, then we got 50, 100, 150, and 200 points. With the first 50 points, we're going to be activating the Eliminator glyph, and we also are going to go for Bloodbath plus some damage reduction and resistance to elements, resistance to elements. Important is always to try to get as much maximum life as possible, as that is your damage. Then with the 100 points, we finish the note down here, go for the corporal glyph, get it activated, that it's actually working. Move over into the Blood Baguettes board to already get our Essence glyph running and pick up some more max life. Then activate your Blood Baguettes note with 150, get more maximum life, move upward into the Frailty board for more max life and attack speed and the Dominate glyph running. And lastly, with 200 points, we're going to get Flesh Eater with more max life and the max life plus the Amplify glyph and put some more willpower in there. And what you're going to do now with consecutive points is essentially fleshing out the important stuff. More attack speed, getting more willpower for our Dominate glyph, more dexterity for the Essence, but make sure that you definitely have all the max life that you could possibly get touched on. More damage reduction while fortified, but the minimal points, and only max this out to which the 300. Get some more overpowered damage. Make sure to activate these nodes as the corporal glyph actually pushes them magic wise. Try to get as much intelligence as possible in the Eliminator part. And with your final points, as you have taken every single rare node you've gotten, just get more raw stat points that are boosted by Eliminator. Ladies and gentlemen, could I convince you on the Shroud and Blood Surge going absolutely bonkers? Or are you rather interested in the Spirit Surfer, who's currently sitting at Pit 105 and beyond? Enjoy and have a fantastic good day.